All right, go.
This is the day that we're gonna
What
do
are you
this.
doing?
Oh, I thought
What?
this was the day where we were gonna do this for 15 minutes and then that's it.
No,
Oh, okay, good, because I have a headache.
me too. So, welcome everybody to the Silly Face Siblings,
Podcast.
the filming podcast, the face recognition casting of the FOD,
Face.
the Podfast podcast.
Everybody's like, what?
There's so many things that we've called this before. It's
Yeah.
it's mind blowing how many things we've called this podcast.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
no.
What are we talking about today, Greg?
Today we're gonna go a little
Jeez.
bit more philosophical.
Okay.
Yeah, like I personally have a master's degree in philosophy.
Okay.
I just didn't get it
Because your name is Phil?
because my name is
Your middle name is Phil?
I don't
Philosophy?
philosophy.
Okay.
I don't have that. I'm just
Greg
kidding.
Philosophy.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But what we're discussing today is the term called struggling, the thought of struggling. So we hear it all the time, like, oh, I'm struggling, I'm stuck, and really what that means, or what we're trying to really say there, is that we're not where we thought we would be, or we're, yeah.
Well,
I
what
had
does it
different
mean?
thoughts
How
on
about
that.
this? What does it mean to you when you say that you're struggling? What do you mean by that? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Explain.
me, it'd be like, I'm not where I thought I would be at this time.
Okay.
Right? I told myself, well, this year I'll make $80,000. I'm just making up a number, and then I'm not. So I'm hard on myself, and I feel like I'm struggling to get there.
Okay.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
I had more philosophical, I can't say that word. Whatever.
Yeah. Thoughts on that.
Thoughts
Okay.
on that earlier, but now they're kind of eluding me.
Gone.
And that's okay.
For me,
Hmm?
I don't think that I've ever used that word for myself. I don't think I've ever said I'm struggling.
Okay.
I might have said I'm having a tough time. But then what would that mean? That might mean that maybe I feel like I'm hitting the wall and I'm just, I'm having a tough time right now. But I don't think I've ever said I'm struggling. I don't know. I guess maybe it's a word thing. Could it be a word thing?
Could be.
Could be. Or could
Yeah.
be. Okay, so if you're struggling, what does that mean to you? What do you mean when you tell somebody, oh, I'm struggling? Or what would it mean to you when you would tell somebody, I'm having a tough time? Right?
Yeah.
So what it means to explain it might mean, for myself, I'm feeling drained, feeling like I have no energy to move through the struggle or to move through the tough time, right? What does that really mean to you? I think that's all we really want to know, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah. And really everything that we talk about, it
Mhm.
comes down to that. What are we making it mean?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
What do I make it mean that
Yeah.
that I'm X number of pounds?
Yeah.
Right? What am I making it mean that I only work at a certain job? Or what do I make it mean that somebody said I was a jerk?
Yeah.
Right? It's all these thought constructs, right?
Yeah. And what you had said earlier when you said about that was, do you feel as though, like, when you feel like you're struggling, is that maybe you're just putting too many expectations on yourself and not being accepting or being in the moment of right now, feeling like you have all this pressure on yourself, like you have to be somewhere that you're not in the moment, right? And you had also said about looking to the future. So I'm struggling because I feel like I'm not right here and I should be right here somewhere in the future. Whereas, what about right now? What are you struggling? So then if you might ask yourself this question, what are you struggling with right now? Right now. And then you're like, well, right now I'm not really struggling with anything because I'm just sitting here. And then you move on to that next minute. Well, right now I'm not really struggling with anything because I'm just sitting here.
Right.
I know I just said the exact same
Yeah.
thing, but
That's
what it might come down to. You're struggling with this, this is the wrong way, with what's going on here and what's going on in your future or what's going on in your past based on what you're thinking in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But your body, is it struggling with anything right now in the present moment?
No.
That's what you were talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
We're back to that.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Like, yeah, all that, like the reason we're afraid of like what's going to come is because that's what we're focusing on. We're applying what our life has been through in the past
Mm-hmm.
and putting that as like, okay, well, because this happened to me, that means that this will happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
This will become my next like chunk of time, right?
Yeah.
Versus what we're talking about in this idea of struggling, and that's why we're really kind of looking at is it's just a thought, right? Struggling is a thought. When you say I'm struggling, it's because you're looking at that future.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come down and just come back to your in the moment and you realize that your heart is beating and that you're alive and you're living, then you're not really struggling. You can't struggle in the moment because the moment is just a moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and I got another thing about that is that when we feel as though we're struggling too, maybe we're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe there's a whole, like I'm just thinking of my husband with work, is that there's so much to do. Where do you start? How do you start? How do you do this? How do you deal with this client? How do you deal with all of that? So when you're sort of struggling, you're like, you might be feeling overwhelmed with all of the stuff that's going on, right? So if you're able to breathe, bring yourself into the moment, then maybe you might not feel as much of the struggle because you might be able to pick, okay, I'm going to pick this one piece with this client. This is what I'm going to focus on right now. Then all the other stuff isn't a struggle anymore because it's not overwhelming you with a whole crap ton more things that are going on. So it's bringing that focus back.
Yep.
And it essentially alleviates the feelings of the struggle. And could
yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. I think a lot of when we're struggling too, right, is like Roxanne was talking about, the expectations. So you have these big grand things that we believe we have to get to, and we're like, if I don't have it tomorrow, then I'm failing.
Yeah.
Then I'm not succeeding, right?
Yeah, that's
failing is another thought.
Yeah.
Right? These are
and feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What comes in your body with it, a result of it, but just coming back down into that moment, so like, okay, well, what small action can I take today that will move me towards that outcome, right? And I'm seriously talking small, okay? Like, if you find that you're incredibly stressed and you're going through a crap ton of stress, maybe like cleaning a room could be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. That can help you. That can help bring you back into the moment to maybe help alleviate some of those struggles or some of that struggle.
So the struggle there was with that example is like, I'm struggling to keep my house clean.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's but that
start with one square at a time.
Right. But then when you say that, like, I'm struggling to keep my house clean, you're looking at like, well, I'm basing it on the past because it's been a mess in the past or whatever, or you thought it was a mess in the past. Therefore, it'll be a mess in the future. And then the kids and the husband and the wife and all this stuff, right? Yeah. All this stuff. And then you stress over it.
Oh, bad hair day, Kelly.
That's awesome. Bad hair day. No, I'm kidding. So you just add more stress to it, right? But if you just said like, okay, well, what can I do in this moment? And we know that by you cleaning your desk, it changes your feelings, your neurological like patterns and neural networks change completely. Small things. When you feel like life is kicking your butt, do the small things.
Yeah. I think that with the cleaning thing that you said, I think that there's a lot of us that can relate to that, especially like women's and moms. I'm sure fathers as well. I'm not saying that you guys don't as well, but when you talk about cleaning, for myself, it's more of I'm overwhelmed that there's so much to do, and I feel like I have to get it all done right now. So that just comes back to putting too much pressure on yourself, putting too much expectations on yourself, and instead just saying, okay, today I'm going to do the bathroom, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the floors. And it doesn't like, I know for myself that I've got into those feelings that it all has to be done now.
Yeah.
And really, does it? No. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So that was a great one that you brought up. I think a lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah. You can even pull that back a bit too. Like Roxanne had mentioned, like cleaning the bathroom or whatever, right? Like, why not wipe your sink?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
or just do the toilet.
Or just do the toilet. Or like, if it's still too overwhelming,
too much
to do the entire bathroom, chunk it down. Like, take it down. And then be like, okay, my plan was to wash the sink. Okay, done. Your brain's like, yes, I did it, right? Versus like, holy shit, I have so much to clean, right? Exactly. Because then, if in your mind you're like, I have so much to do, and you're like, okay, well, I'll clean the bathroom, but you only get half the bathroom done, then you're going to beat yourself up over that.
Yeah.
But if it's something small, whatever it is for you, like wiping the sink, for example, that is more empowering to your body, to your mind, than something bigger.
Yeah. And the struggles might not be so real.
And that's where, and back to, just to pull it all back, right? That's how struggle is a thought. Right?
And feelings.
Well, yeah.
I think.
They are feelings. Feelings do come from it, but those feelings come as a result of the thoughts that you're thinking about it, right? You're thinking it's too overwhelming, and then you start to you get the physical sensations within the body of like, my stomach hurts and whatever, right? And then the thoughts start over where it's like, okay, well, now I'm a bad mom, right? For not having the house clean.
That's true.
Type thing.
How many other of you think that? I'm putting that on. Do you think that?
Do you think that?
Yeah.
Do you think that? Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Mother left us.
She got overwhelmed with all of these thoughts of struggling. She's like, I'm leaving. Just kidding.
What actually happened is she was like, I love my kids so much. I don't want to cry in front of them, so I'm going to walk away.
Oh.
Definitely.
Or she's like, squirrel.
Yeah.
And then she
That's probably more it.
And then she got distracted by
I
the
did.
squirrel.
I went over to the tree to watch the squirrel, like, with
See?
Tika.
Awesome, see?
There you go. Squirrel.
She followed the dog.
That's awesome. Okay, so all of this, what we'd like to know is, do you feel as though you are struggling, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
Take a look at it. Just take a look at it. Right?
Really, that is.
Journal. Take a look at it.
Do small shit.
Figure out your stuff, because you can. Start one bed sheet at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I don't have bed sheets.
Anyways. Oh no, you just sleep just on your mattress without a bed sheet.
I'm not allowed.
So there's like
not allowed mattress right now.
A sweaty mark, a yellow mark on the mattress of Greg. Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Okay, we can go now.
Okay.
Play the music.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on.
I can't take it anymore. No.
No? Okay, we're done.
Okay, so